Om Shanti. We will first begin with the blessing today, and then I want to talk about remembrance. Now, in the blessing today, let me read it out. Baba says, may you be feeling proof and transform anything wasteful into something powerful by being a holy swan. So the explanation is, throughout the whole day, there are wasteful thoughts, wasteful words, wasteful actions, and wasteful relationships and connections. Transform all of that waste and make it powerful. Do not take anything wasteful into your intellect. If you accept even one wasteful thing, that one wasteful thing will make you experience many wasteful things. This is referred to as coming into feelings. So become a holy swan and transform anything wasteful into powerful, and you will become feeling proof. If someone insults you or gets angry with you, just give them some cool water of peace. This is the duty of a holy swan. Now, you see that today Baba is giving us the blessing of being feeling proof. May you be feeling proof. And I think that this is a blessing that most souls are seeking in the world right now. Because everybody is very troubled by their feelings. And everybody, every day at least 10 souls, they come and tell in the center that we are not able to manage our feelings, and the emotions or the feelings that we feel are disturbing us. And so do you feel like that? That yes, the way we are feeling these days is a trouble. And there is thinking, and then, we usually don't understand what we are thinking. So we only realize that we are not feeling well. And we are coming into many kinds of feelings: sorrow, jealousy, hopelessness, bitterness. There are so many feelings that are coming up all the time. And then to manage those feelings, some people are taking medicines, some are doing other things, but then those feelings don't go away. Those feelings, even if you take a shot of dopamine, only temporarily it is going to, make you unaware of those feelings, but then those feelings are still there. And Baba today is telling us how to become feeling proof. So, and I think that this is a very, very valuable thing that even that is not even, in psychology or psychiatry also, people are not able to crack what Baba is saying. So, Baba today is telling us that throughout the whole day, there are wasteful thoughts. So, you know that you are thinking more than necessary. So, thought is important, but then you are thinking more than necessary and about people, situations, behaviors which are not in your control. So if you're thinking about things that are not in your control, that's a waste. If you're thinking about the past, it's a waste because you can't change it. If you are beyond planning, if you're thinking about the future, that's a waste. And then if you're thinking more than necessary about anything that is important also, so even if you have to do something, you have to understand how many thoughts you have to spend for it. And you must have a mental limit to it. Yes, let's say I have to, let me tell you something, like people who, even if you have to buy a place for your project or your venture, or even if it's about a big investment, how much do you have to think about it is something you have to decide, because you can't just go on and on thinking about it because you think it's important. No, because even if you think too much, it's not going to help you. So there is a difference between thinking and thinking too much, and too much doesn't have a positive connotation. And you have to realize when that line is crossed. So A is thinking about people, things, situations which are not in your control. That is completely wasteful. And then thinking about stuff that requires your attention, but because of attachment, you are thinking too much about it. Or, even in relationships, thinking too much about the people around you, or thinking too much about your body. So that too much is all wasteful, right? So first I'm telling you how to identify the waste. So do you realize how much of your thinking is wasteful? Yes, mostly it is wasteful, yes. Then second is wasteful words, speaking more than necessary. So there is a lot of speaking which we do and which is wasteful, which is, sometimes, people are reading the same newspaper and then talking about it. So already your mind is full of what you read. So you don't have to talk about it again and, spread that vibration. So there is a lot of wasteful speaking, and so there you have to identify that. Then wasteful actions. There are many things that we do which do not add to our physical, mental, spiritual, or financial or emotional health. So whenever you engage in an action, that action has to be productive. It should contribute to your either physical health or mental health, or it should contribute to your financial health, or it should mend relationships, or it should make relationships stronger or better. But otherwise, all the actions that we engage in, whether it is in the form of work, or it is in the form of, coming into contact and connections with people, or it is about, laboring with the body, it is all wasteful if it is not contributing to any of these areas. And then the most important is spiritual health. So if your spiritual health is being compromised, then it is obviously wasteful work, wasteful actions. And then Baba says wasteful relationships and connections. So you have to connect. Being in relationships, being in connections is important. But then these days, having 5,000 friends on Facebook, all that is wasteful. Or we have a lot of wasteful relationships and connections, that which is not adding to our health in any way. Whether it is our happiness or health, it is not adding. And there are many people who are just maintaining those connections, I don't know for what. So all that is wasteful connections and wasteful relationships. Now let me tell you that um, being purposeful and productive doesn't necessarily depend on the quantity. It also depends on, sometimes you see, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook also. So it's not like it's just about, not having many connections or many relationships. But what we have to check is why. The why is very important. What is the intention behind it? That's very important. Or, even if you're doing work or you're doing, there is a lot of action in the day. There is a lot of watching and listening also. Let me tell you about watching and listening also. Of course, there has to be a balance between everything. But then, if for me also, if I tell you, I read, I listen, I watch, like, even BK programs also I watch, or I read stuff, I listen to classes. So that could be 2 hours a day, that could be 2.5 hours a day. But then it also depends on what is my purpose. So, when I have to give a class, I think about stuff, and that's contributing to my task that Baba has given me. So it the quantity matters, and also why you're doing it, the clarity of it matters a lot. So it's thinking, speaking. So we speak a lot. I speak for 7 hours a day. But then that's not wasteful. So it's not always wasteful when it is more, but then whether it is wasteful or not has to be determined. Yes, so that's very important to understand, because sometimes less is more, sometimes more is important. But then every soul, because this Murli is being studied by BKs, so it is assumed that we have the discernment about what is wasteful and what is not. Yes, so Baba says that wasteful thoughts, wasteful words, wasteful actions, and wasteful relationships and connections. There is a lot of waste. And I really want you to sit with a pen and paper today and identify what waste there is in your whole day. Okay, so please do that. And there is a very simple method to do that. And that method is, everything happens in time. So, there is thought, word, action, relationship, connection, everything is happening in time. So, if your timetable is not planned, if your timetable is not fixed, then there is a lot of probability of waste. And this is something that I have identified. So, there are some hours in the day which are fixed, like, there is nothing else to do. There's class, there's some preparation, there is some seva, there is some cooking. So, those hours are never going to waste. But there is always some time which you don't plan. There is some time which you leave unplanned. There is some time for which there is no timetable. And that's where all the waste happens. Yes, so I have a very simple way of eliminating waste, and that is not leaving any space in my timetable. So you could also follow that. That's a very good way of doing it. So this waste, now Baba says, transform all of that waste and make it powerful. Now let me tell you that if you have a penchant for thinking, like you can think, yes, you can think a lot, then, if you just start practicing silence, it will not be easy. So try to change the wasteful into powerful. So start thinking about Gyan. Start thinking about, start churning Gyan. Do some Chintan Manthan. So the wasteful will be changed to powerful. Then wasteful words. If you have a propensity to speak a lot, then do Vacha Seva. Fix some time and make it productive. So make it a program that whenever I speak, today I will speak on this subject. So just give yourself a subject to speak. And this is a very good idea because, when you speak without a subject, you speak a lot. But when you speak within the subject, you will also choose your words and choose everything. Then wasteful actions. So, these days, this listening and hearing, a lot of wasteful, we are all picking up the phone and wasting our actions. So, action is done through the 5 senses and the man buddhi. So, you are engaging the 5 senses unproductively because you're not engaging them productively. So give yourself a work, your action table should be there. Doing this from this to this time should be there. And then relationships and connections. So you go into wasteful relationships and connections again because of lack of, timetable and lack of discipline. So Baba says, make that powerful. How do you make it powerful? So try connecting with, so if you want to get better on your spiritual journey, always stay connected and in relationship with people who are like-minded. So, building relationships and connections in the Brahmin family and making more contact with your sister in charge, this is the way. So, developing a relationship. And there is, when in any relationship, do you know how to build a relationship? Yes, so when there is exchange, then there is the building of a relationship. So start building your relationship and connection, which is powerful and productive, and that will take you away from the unproductive ones. Okay. Now, Baba tells us one very important law. Underline this. If you accept even one wasteful thing, that one wasteful thing will make you experience many wasteful things. So, have you noticed that sometimes you get hurt in a finger, on the toe in the leg or the little finger in the leg, and then every time you move, you keep getting hurt more and more. See? Or sometimes you bite your tongue and then it gets bit again and again. So that's the nature of waste and negative. So if you start with one wasteful thing, then it will attract more and more. Have you seen that you are watching something useful on the internet and then you start watching something, just 2 minutes of a video which is wasteful, and then that trail of waste videos just follows after that. So Baba says that this is the nature of waste. Whenever you start with one wasteful thing, everything else will follow. So don't give room for that one wasteful thing, not one thought, not one action, not one relationship connection. And this is an effort in Sangam Yoga, I think, because this whole world right now is full of waste. So, making your life productive is you have to do it on mission mode. and and when you start doing it, I tell you, people say that we don't have time, but it is my experience that when you eliminate all the waste from your life, you actually find that 24 hours is a very long time. And when you're not wasting any time, any thought, then you will be surprised at how much capacity the world is giving you and drama is giving you to create. And in one day you can create miracles and magic. So basically 24 hours is a very long time if you don't waste any of it. So Baba says that, and if you accept one wasteful thing, that one wasteful thing will make you experience many wasteful things. This is referred to as coming into feelings. And then when this trail of waste starts, then what happens? You come into feelings. Your consciousness, your state of mind is very low. Yes, so when you are engaging in waste, you are not in high consciousness. And then when you are in this state of feelings, not very powerful state, you are in a state of low feelings, then what happens? Any slight thing is able to disturb you. Any slight thing, and I tell you, I'll tell you one incident. So there were these two girls, and they both lost their parents in COVID. And one of them was able to move on very quickly and accept that this is how it is, and then move back to being normal and being productive. And another one just plunged into depression, and she's now, she's in a bad state. And why? Because sometimes you think that this one incident is what is affecting you, but no, it's the state of mind in which you are experiencing that one incident. And if you're already into feelings, so if you have not excluded the waste out of your life, and all your thoughts and feelings are pretty low, then one single blow can just finish you. Or one single, and sometimes I'm talking about somebody leaving the body, but even if it's not such a big thing, it's just very small, you losing out on an increment, or you losing out on a promotion, or you losing out on some situation in the life, then that will feel like a big setback, because you are into feelings. And today in the Murli, Baba says that this is the time when many situations will come. And if you don't want to be swept away by them, so you don't want to be just feel like you don't have any control over your state of mind when situations come, then you have to build a powerful state of mind by eliminating these wasteful thoughts, actions, and words, and relationships and connections. So Baba says, so this is referred to as coming into feelings. So become a holy swan and transform anything wasteful into powerful, and you become feeling proof. And then, when you're feeling proof, then what happens? If someone insults you or gets angry with you, just give them some cool water of peace. Yes, because you see, when you have sorrow inside, somebody gives you sorrow, you are able to multiply it. Are you not able to? Yes. So, and even psychology says that there is a lot of magnification. Magnification means you are not experiencing situations as they are, but as you are. If you are in a lot of pain, you feel the intensity of the situation, of a painful situation, 10 times. Yes, so if you are able to magnify pain into 10 times of pain because you have pain inside, then when you are feeling proof, and feeling proof means your original feelings are on the surface, you are happy, you're peaceful, then will you not be able to transform what's coming your way? So if somebody is giving you insult or angry words, then you will be able to give them the cool water of peace. This is the duty of a holy swan. Okay, so Baba wants us to be not only non-reactive but also transformative, because Baba is here for world transformation and he definitely wants us to be a partner in his task of world transformation. And today Baba is talking about being a Karam Yogi. And Baba says that you, while walking, moving around, you stay in my remembrance. And you say that sometimes we do not appreciate the power of remembrance. Yes, so we think that, I don't know whether every day Baba talks in the Murli about remembrance, but I don't know if remembrance is really such a big thing. But if you look at the world today, everybody is suffering because of this capacity of remembrance. What is all your suffering about? Just ask yourself. It is about remembrance. Yes? Is it not? It is all about remembrance. It is about who you are remembering and what you are remembering. And that's what is the cause of your suffering. Yes, it is not life in general, it is not situations, it is not. I have seen people who are suffering badly despite having very, very favorable circumstances, and also giving up on their productivity in the current second because they are in remembrance of a past relationship, remembrance of some past incident, remembrance of some person who behaved badly, or remembrance of something that they considered as a dhokha, mistrust, break of trust in their life. So it is remembrance that is making us suffer. And then remembrance of your expectations and your desires also makes you suffer. So Baba says that, just like the antidote for something is usually the same thing, then Baba says, if you want to shift to a happy world, remembrance is the key. And what is remembrance? So that earlier we used to think that remembering God means chanting his name. But we don't have to remember God like we remembered God in bhakti, because at that time we didn't know anything, so we just took a false name and we started chanting it. That was not even his real name. so Baba says that now you remember me like you remember. So you know the art of remembering, don't you? Yes, when you remember your beloved, you become the lover. When you remember your mother, you are the child at that moment. When you remember a loss, you are the responsible one in that moment. So remembrance is a very dynamic and very active activity. It's not it's not like what we call remembrance of God in bhakti. So you remember me like you remember people and situations and events and future fears. So Baba says, remember me and first realize who I am. I am your parent, your friend, your guide, your teacher, your Satguru. And you are also in all those relationships with me. And then I'm so powerful and the ocean of virtues. And when you remember me as I am, and in that remembrance you do everything, just think about how much of companionship, protection, security, strength, wisdom would you feel at every step of your action. But you have to, develop this practice of remembering Baba, because we don't remember him generally. So we don't have the practice of remembering Baba as a conscient entity. So when we remember Baba as a conscient entity, as the supreme being, and we remember ourselves in relation to Baba, then just think about what kind of energy every action you do will be filled with. Yes, even if you go for a walk in remembrance of Baba, your legs will have the sprite and your face will be so bright in the remembrance of Baba, and in that happiness, you will draw all the goodness of nature into yourself. So Baba says, do everything in my remembrance and be a Karam Yogi. And Baba says that Karam Yogi doesn't mean that your yoga is with your karma. No. You are doing your karma and your yoga is with me. Just like your yoga is all over the place all day. So, you have to collect your yoga and anchor it to Baba. And it's a practice. So, there is this sister and she was sharing with me. So she said that I practice this, Didi, that from the time I wake up in the morning, I am aware of Baba and I'm aware of Baba's company and I'm aware of myself as the child of Baba doing everything. And then she said that, I'm only able to sustain it up to 2 hours right now. And by the time it is 6 and everybody wakes up, I start being very body conscious. So, I become a mother. I forget I am a child. I become a mother. I forget I am the child of the Almighty. I become a very, a very powerless woman, struggling to make ends meet. And I forget that I am the child of the Almighty and that easiness is gone. And then she said that, Didi, one day I really tried hard and I was very, very aware. And I am a school teacher. So she said that when I went to the school at 8:30, up to 8:30, I was in complete awareness. And then I saw another colleague and she had put on weight. And then I started thinking about her weight and then I forgot Baba. So I planned for the children that, when I'm tending to the children, I'll remember Baba. When I'm cooking food, I'll remember Baba. But I didn't forget that I'm so body conscious that I see somebody gaining weight and I'll forget Baba. And then I just talked about, what happened and why you've put on so much weight. And she told me about some illness she was going through. And then we chatted. And then when I sat in the staff room, I remembered, okay, so Baba was gone. And I was only thinking about her and her body and this and that. So Baba says that this remembrance, and you think, just look at the nature of the conversation and the nature of the state of mind as soon as Baba goes away. Yes, so Baba says that be a Karam Yogi, and Baba says that if you are a Karam Yogi, then while doing your duties and doing everything, in your mundane way, you will still shift from a human to a deity. Yes, and also when you're doing everything in remembrance of Baba, then when you are taking decisions, there are many decisions you take in the day. It's not always actions, it's also decisions. Decisions about how to use your time, energy, thought, wealth, who to talk to, who not to talk to. And when you are in remembrance of Baba, your decisions will change. And our life is a product of our decisions. So when you are in remembrance of Baba, you are at a different frequency, you are at a different state of awareness. And in that state of awareness, the decisions you take will pave the way for sustained good karma, and then those decisions will change your life. So Baba says, be a karam yogi. And then Baba today also gives us a definition in the slogan, a definition about what is the proof of spiritual endeavor. So it's very easy to say that I'm a yogi or I do a lot of spiritual effort. But Baba says, if you make a lot of spiritual effort, then the sign is, if you're making good spiritual effort, the sign of it is the attitude of unlimited disinterest. What is unlimited disinterest? Unlimited disinterest is to be free from attachment and desire. So even when you are living with things, you are not attached to them. Their presence or absence doesn't bother you. And you don't have desire for things. You don't get upset if you don't get anything. That's the sign of a good yogi. So, sometimes we say that we are good yogis, but then there is a lot of attachment and a lot of desire. So sometimes, people ask, Didi, how do I realize whether my yoga is good? Yes, and usually you think that the sign of good yoga is you'll be flying with wings open and you'll be experiencing, so like you're in seventh heaven. No, that's not a good yogi. A good yoga makes you different, it changes you from within. So if you are meditating regularly, if you're making spiritual effort means everything. Study of knowledge, yoga, purity, seva, all this is spiritual effort. And if you're making this spiritual effort, then what you will become is somebody who is free from attachment and desire. So that's what spiritual effort makes you. And if you are becoming free from attachment and desire, that is the sign of a good spiritual effort. Now, let me also tell you the difference between disinterest, unlimited disinterest, and dissociation. So if you're running away from people, that's not unlimited disinterest. Yes, unlimited disinterest means you don't mind anyone or anything and you are neither attached to them. But if you mind people and mind things and mind situations, then they are having too much of influence on you. That's not unlimited disinterest. Yes, so if you are able to engage fully and still be fully detached and free from expectations and free from any attachment, that's called unlimited disinterest. And that's the sign of a good yogi. All right.